Hi, welcome. So we're going to continue. This is video 2 on the student. So we already went here and we downloaded the student assignment. This is the customer assignment. So we downloaded the customer assignment specifications. So we're going to go into more detail about that. But before that, we also downloaded this customer code. And in the last video, we went through the customer code that's from program 6 without the input-output parameters. So you can use this code. Of course, you can use your own code, but those of you who want to, you're welcome to use my code to help you get started and to complete the program 9 assignment. So we're going to change this now to program 9, which is going to be an array of structs. And so now we're going to look at the functions we're going to be adding to the assignment. Wherever I have that, here it is, and the menu features. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to update our menu. That's an easy thing to do. So we're going to update our menu to include the features that we need for our new assignment. So the first thing, we're going to fix our greeting. Our greeting is just going to say, where is our greeting? Here it is, welcome. All right, so you can add, we're not going to start over. You end the program by selecting Q. Basically, the greeting is going to be the same, but we do need to add our other menu options. So let's go here. So we have to add a P, an O. So we have a P to print the entire customer list onto the screen. You can do this, your own way. I'm just trying to do it as quick as possible. We have an O, which is going to be to print the information for one customer onto the screen. A, to add an item to your order. C, to check out. I'm going to put this in the same order as that. Okay. And then we also have N, to add a new customer to the list. So it's not just to add a new customer to the end of our list. So now we have these options and we need to also, well, let's just make sure we didn't make any errors here. Okay, so now we also need to add all of the conditions here. So we have, if it's an A, if you have the A and the C and the N, so the N is going to be something different now. It's going to be add a customer to the list. I'm just adding this to my my menu and updating it. So we're going to change this to an else if, and we have, so we're going to have, first we're going to have a P, and then we're going to have all right, so we have a P. This is going to be printf, print the list onto the screen. Then we have an O. Obviously, we haven't implemented this yet. This is just the menu, getting our menu all situated. And this is going to be print the information for one customer, the info for one customer. All right, so I want to make sure that this works. I have my menu has a P, O, A, C. So A is still going to be add. We're going to obviously have to change it. C is going to be check out, and N is going to add a new customer. But we're just making sure that we now have our new options. So let's build it and test it. All right, so we have P to print the entire list, O, A, C, N, or Q. So I'm going to try each one. P, print the list. O, print one customer. A still works as add. C is still check out. N is add a new customer, and Q to quit still works. All right, so we've got our menu changed. So now let's take a look at all of the features that we're going to have to add and all of the functions. So our greeting function is the same. And here are the new, some of them are the same. So if you look here, the reload is going to stay the same. The check for enough is going to stay the same. Add quantity order, set price, display, one item. Most of them are the same. The things that are going to change are going to be checking out. Checking out is going to change. And then we have these other functions here that we're going to have to add. So we're going to take this one step at a time. There's a lot of functions here, so let's just do this one step at a time. The first step is to add our struct to our code. So we go all the way up here at the top, above our function prototypes, and we're going to add our struct. We are going to need the string copy, so I'm going to go ahead and add that now. This is for string copy. We're also going to have to do pound define size. I think it was 50, but it might be 100. You can fix that. It does say it in the instructions, I believe. 100. Set your upper bound to 100 entries. Whoops. So let's make this 100. All right, so now this is where I'm going to define my structure. Type def struct. And we're going to use the C style. So the name of the struct is going to be customer. And instead of you having to watch me type, I'm going to go ahead and take it from here. So these are the fields. You're going to have an integer. So we're going to have these fields. So let's go over what they are. Remember that we're creating a structure out of data that we already use. We already know how to use integers, doubles, and character arrays. So we have an integer because each customer should have a unique ID. We have a character array for the last name, a character array for the first name, a double for the account balance, a double for the order total, and a double for the previous order total. So if you take a look at the sample output here, I'm going to download it. It takes too long. All right, if you take a look at the sample output, I have, I've put some customers in there. You're going to want to put 5 customers in there to begin with. So each customer has a different balance. If the customer has not made an order yet, then their order and their previous order is going to be 0, right? Once a customer makes an order, in order to select which customer to make the order, you're going to have to select their index, and that's how you set the customer. So you pick, you want to set the customer, you pick the index. So we did forget to add that S to our menu features. All right, we got to add the S. So why do we want to set the customer? Because you're going to have a whole list of customers and you need to know which one you're going to be making it, which one of those customers is going to be making an order. So we do need to add that feature to our menu. So let's fix our menu here. We also need to fix it here. All right, so let's go back to the sample output so you guys understand what I'm talking about here. All right, so we start out and the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna print the list. Well, you can't print the list unless you have actually put some customers in your list. So we're gonna fill our list with 5 customers. After we've filled our list with 5 customers, we can print those customers onto the screen. We can also print 1 customer onto the screen. So we're gonna select the index. We're gonna make sure that it's in range. So if you have 5 customers, your index goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we definitely have to make sure that we keep an index in range. So you can select and print 1 customer. Then if we want to add, so you want to start, a customer wants to make an order. How do you know which customer is going to make that order? You use the option S. So you can't add or check out unless you have selected a customer. That customer will be selected and will remain selected until you select another customer. All right, so then once you select the customer, that will be selected by the index. So you can print them out again. So you can pick which one, you pick the index, then you can start, David Bowie here can start making an order. Notice each one has a different balance. You can set the balance to whatever you want. And then you can start making an order. And as soon as they make their order, it's going to work just like it used to. And keep making an order until you check out. Then eventually you're going to check out. And then once you check out, you will notice that when I print the list, David Bowie had an order before and his balance was $5. Now he has 39, and then we're just keeping track of what his previous order is because we've already checked out. If you haven't checked out yet, you're still on the current order. So there's going to be a current order, and then after you check out, there's going to be a previous order. So you don't have to keep track of all the orders that they had. All right, so that's basically how we're going to do it. And then how do you add another customer to the list? That's by selecting N to add another customer to the list and Q to quit. All right, so we have created our struct here. And we've also updated our menu. So our menu has all of the options. So the first thing we want to do is we want to be able to put 5 customers into our list and print the list onto the screen to test that we see those customers. So let's go here to our assignment and get those functions. Add a customer to the, not add one like that. Add our 5 customers to the list. That's going to be our function. And then we're also going to print the customer list onto the screen because you can add the customers all you want, but if you don't print it onto the screen, you can't see that the customers have been added. So these are our function prototypes, and we will go ahead and implement these functions and test that they work. So we go down here with our definitions. All right, so the first thing, actually I want to put this one on the bottom because it's kind of a fat function. So let's just put this all the way down here at the bottom, because once you put the 5 in there, you don't have to, go back and look at this again. So we don't want to have to scroll past it. So how do you put 5 customers into your list? Well, you're going to pass the list here. All right, well, here's the problem. We defined our struct, but we have not declared a list of students, customers. So we are going to need a list of customers. So let's just go back here to our, oh, this is also a function. Let's go back here to our main function. And at the beginning, we're going to have our new data type, which is called customer. And we're going to make an array of customers called a list. And it's going to be size, which means it's capable of storing 100 customers because I did pound define size up here at the top. Pound define size 100, that's a constant. So we're going to declare a list of type customer, to be of size 100, and we're going to also have a customer count which will be initialized to 0 because we have not added any customers to our list yet, right? So we have a list. It is an array of customers, and we have the count is going to be 0. So the potential is to have 100 customers, and after we add customers to our list, we will then be able to update the count. So now let's go back down here to our function and put 5 customers in our list. So how do you do that? Well, we have list at index 0. Go back and review the introductory video that introduces you to this assignment. Using the dot operator, you have first name, you have list at index 0 dot, first name, last name. So anytime when you type it, you can do list at index 0. List at index 0 is a customer. You use the dot operator to access the fields within the customer. So we have all of these fields. We have a first name, a last name, a previous order total, an order total, a unique ID, which we make up, and an account balance, which we make up. Now, we do need to in order to do the strings, we need to use string copy because we cannot assign a first name. You have to use string copy. So I'm going to go ahead here, and so you don't have to watch me type. I do have my, oh, not that one. Here are my customers I already added. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste these, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so I have the IDs I made up. So I just said list at index 0.id, and I picked some numbers so that each one is different. Then I use string copy to put a first and a last name. And then I assigned an account balance, whatever I wanted to. And then of course the order totals and the previous order totals are set to 0 because they haven't, when our program begins and we start execution, they have not made any orders yet. So I went ahead and the first index is 0. So this is a customer. This is an integer. This is a customer. This is a character array. Our list has index 0 for our first customer, index 1 for our second customer, index 2 for our third customer, index 3 for our fourth customer, and index 4 for our fifth customer, because remember it starts at index 0. So I now have 5 customers. My recommendation to you is to do it this way because the point of this assignment is to understand arrays and arrays of structs. So this is the most very straightforward way to say I'm going to my list at index 0 at field ID and putting this value. And then I have to use string copy, of course, because it's the C language. And then this is my first customer, second customer, third customer, fourth customer, fifth customer. So how do we put these into our list? We just call this function. So we go back here in our main function, scroll up here where we have declared our list. Then we're going to put 5 customers into our list. So we just pass our list there. Once we put 5 customers into our list, we are going to set the customer count 5, right? We have 5 customers. If you put 1 in, your customer count would be 1. If you put 3 in, your customer count would be 3. Because we've put 5 customers in there, our customer count is now going to be 5. So the next step is to print, we can build this, make sure that it works, but we can't, if we select P to print them onto the screen, it doesn't print anything because we haven't implemented that function yet. So let's implement the print onto the screen function. we're just going to do that loop for I equals 0, I less than our count. So if we have 5, it's going to go from 0 to 4, one at a time. The same loop you use for any kind of an array. It's just that you have to print all of the information from all of the different, so again, so you don't have to watch me type, I'm going to copy and paste this here. You want to print all of the information for all of the fields. So why am I calling print one customer here? Well, because let's look at the implementation of print one customer. The print one customer function takes a customer and prints all the information using tabs for each of the data fields. So it will print the first name, the last name, the balance, the order total, the previous order total, and the ID. They don't have to be in the same order because you're using the dot operator. So this is very, instead of putting all of this big fat printf inside of here, it's very nice that you could just use this function, because if you take a look at our assignment, you do have a function called print one customer. So we can just put this prototype up here. This function is going to print one customer. So you could pass it the customer. Obviously, you have to figure out which customer that is. And we're going to reuse this in our print customer list to print each customer one at a time. So let's go back down and look at this again. Print one customer makes a copy. This is good practice, pass by copy. We're going to pass it each customer that's in our list. So list at index 0 is a customer. List at index 1 is a customer. List at index 2 is a customer. So we're going to pass it each one of our customers one at a time, and then it's going to print the information onto the screen. We do have another option for O to print one customer at a time. We just haven't gotten to that yet. All right, so let's go up here and call that function. Print customer list. Oops. Why didn't it let me pick that? Print, there it is. All right, the name of the function is print customer list. We pass it the list, and we pass it the customer count. So we're going to pass it our list, which has 5, which we've put 5 customers in, and the count is 5, and it will print them onto the screen. So if I select P, it prints all of my customers onto the screen. It also prints the index, because we're going to need to use that index to select if we want to print only one customer, or if we want to set which customer is going to be doing the purchasing. All right, let's go back and look at how it's printing them onto the screen one more time. Wherever that went, I just kept on scrolling. Here it is. We're using tab \T. That's just to line it up. You don't have to do that. I just kind of like the way that that looks. And I have to put 2 tabs here because ID is very small. And this is how you print one customer. So now we have the option to select if we want to print only one customer. So if you want to print the info for one customer, we're going to have to go back up here and select index for 1. So what does that mean? We're going to have to pick which index it is that we want to print the information about. So how is that going to work? We're going to say printf, enter the index. Then you do scanf %d into the address of index 1. So they're going to select the index of the one that they want to print, and then we just call this function, which is print one customer, and we pass it the list. And which location do we pass it? We pass it the location of index 1. So think about this for a minute. If this user enters 0, then we're going to print the list at index 0. If the user enters 4, then we're going to print the customer that's located at index 4. But what's going to happen if we go out of range? Well, let's try it and see what happens. All right, so if we say I want to print one customer and I select index 3, the customer at index 3 is Linda Blair. Print one customer, index 0. The customer at index 0 is Prince Nelson. Print one customer, index 9. Oh, look at that. So I wanted to show you what this looks like. So because I declared an array to be of size 100, it is prepared, but I have not set any information at that location. So at index 9, there is no customer there, but it's not going to crash because I have potential to put 100 customers there. I just haven't initialized 100 customers. I've only put information about 5 customers. So how do we want to fix that? We can use a do while loop, right? So you could say here, do enter the index, get the index, while, okay, so if they enter a number less than 0, or they enter a number greater than customer count minus 1. Now, why are we using customer count minus 1? Because customer count is empty, right? So if you could say greater than or equal to customer count. But I think for me, it's more clear to say greater than customer count minus 1. Because if we have 5, then this is going to be 0 is going to be the first one. So anything less than 0 and customer count minus 1 is going to be the last one that's filled up. So anything greater than that is going to be out of range. So now let's try it. And obviously you can add a better interaction for the user. All right, if I say, oh, all right, I want to print 11. Ooh. Ah, so anyone figured out what I did wrong? I'm printing it anyway. I need to remove this from my do while loop. My do while loop is only for getting the number, and then once I get out of my do while loop, then I can print one customer. So let's try it again. Right, see? So as soon as I hit one that fits in that range, it will allow me to print that customer. All right, so the next thing we need to do is, let's take a look at our instructions. So we have put 5 customers in there. We can print one customer. We can print the customer list. So we have 2 more functions that we need to do here. One is add one customer. This is adding a customer to the end of the list. So I'll go ahead and put that up here. And the other function we need to do is select and return the index of the customer that we want to do the purchasing. So let's do select and return the index Actually, I think we'll probably do these two in another video. So let's finish this video here, and we will be making another video to add one customer to the list and to select and return.